Hey man, it's all Oud in the hood. Let's talk Oud today. I want to present to you 10 fragrances with prominent Ouds and several kinds of Oud-based blends, all with different personalities and effects. Hi, Dr. Magnifiscent here. Welcome to the Nashville Nose. Ooh, baby. Before we cut to the chase, let's cover the basics. What is Oud? Oud is an intense essential oil extracted from the heartwood of agar trees, which is why we also call it agarwood. This is how it works. The heartwood becomes infected with a type of fungus and, as a defense mechanism, starts to secrete a resin to combat the infection. It's a very rare and very expensive raw material, which is why a lot of Oud accords are synthetically constructed nowadays. Either way, it usually comes off pungent, indolic, and animalic. To some, it may smell a bit fecal, which is gross, but I guess one person's turd is another person's treasure. I'm personally not into that style of Oud, but I do love the unapologetic and daring nature it can provide to a blend, as well as massively boost its performance. So these 10 I have for you today tiptoe that line beautifully. Still, I should put in a disclaimer right here. This list is not for newbies. This is for the fragrant connoisseur, like myself, those with a mature and expansive palate. But hey, if you're a newbie to my channel, you should subscribe. You'll be a fragrant aficionado in no time. Or just subscribe solely for the fun. It's a fun time over here. I'd like to think so. Subscribe, hit that like button, and let's get into this Oud venture. The doctor is now in, starting with one of the greatest examples of the age-old Oud Rose combo. Oud Satin Mood by Maison Francis Kurkdjian. A no-brainer. Sweet, elegant, upscale, perfectly androgynous, pairs great with a fancy suit or dress. It's got Bulgarian rose and Turkish rose, violet for a powdery nuance, vanilla, benzoin, and of course, Oud. It's something that couldn't offend even if it tried. If Emily loves it, chances are the vast swath of humanity will too. I wore this a few years back and she complimented me. Do you understand what a monumental moment that was for me? The fact that she noticed it and loved it speaks majorly to the compliment factor. Alexandria II is another widely loved Oud-based scent from Xerjoff's Oud Stars collection. This has been labeled the Oud Apple Pie fragrance thanks to its addition of apple, cinnamon, and vanilla. Fair warning though, at least in my humble pie opinion. Oh, brother! Don't expect this to be a sweet, tasty apple pie gourmand fragrance with a touch of Oud. No, this one has a very dominant and natural smelling Oud at the forefront. I don't consider it a gourmand, but the apple, cinnamon, and vanilla, along with lavender, rose, lily of the valley, sandalwood, and musk, sweeten it up, smooth it out, and provide a really sexy base. It is a sexy scent for sure, but does need a good amount of time to settle down and round out. But if you're an Oud lover, this is a must-have, or at the very least, a must-try. Now we swing over to the other Italian house of Nasomatto to discuss their exquisite Oud-based scent, Pardon. And pardon me if I gush, because I just love this scent to bits. We have no listed notes, as we know, thanks to Alessandro Gutierrez's discretion, but many claim this to be a fantastic combo of oud and dark chocolate. And holy hell, I agree. Other notes detected are tonka bean, sandalwood, and cinnamon, which makes sweet and smooth sense, but then magnolia seems to be an interesting floral suggestion. To me though, this scent doesn't really smell floral at all. Instead, I find it more sweet, herbal, and woodsy. Not sure where it's coming from, but I wouldn't be surprised if it also had patchouli. In fact, I initially thought that was the dominant note in here when I first smelled it. And in true fashion, as we mentioned Nasomatto, we next must turn to Orto Parisi, Alessandro Gutierrez's other even more outrageous brand, and the oud fragrance from them is Stercus. We know it well. The best poo you will ever smell in your life. Yes, luckily the poo fragrance doesn't actually smell like its theme, so when I call this really good shit, you can believe me. Again, no revealed notes, but oud is absolutely in here. I mean, why wouldn't it be? As mentioned earlier, oud can sometimes come off smelling a bit poo-like, and some people are really into that. I am not. Therefore, I can believe oud would be involved in an excrement-themed fragrance, but thank God almighty, this one is a sweet, smooth, and sexy oud scent, complemented with what smells to me like cherry, maybe some cacao, vanilla, and various other woods. Definitely not for everyone though. May still be a bit challenging to most, so like I always say, cut the crap sample first. What? I say that all the time. But even with all those varieties, if everything I've mentioned so far still sounds too challenging for you, I want to highlight probably the easiest and most wearable oud on this list. Thameen's carved oud has a very familiar scent profile. I don't know if it's marketed as a clone, but it's basically Tom Ford's oud wood with way amped up performance. But unlike a lot of clones, the quality is still there. Heck, the quality may be even better considering Thameen is a top shelf niche brand, with a top shelf niche price tag. Though I do love how it goes a bit deeper and more complex with its scent development. Upon comparing them back to back, I feel like carved oud has a heavier dose of oud compared. Oud wood is a perfect introductory oud scent because it's real light and the whole blend stays fairly linear throughout the life of the fragrance, which unfortunately isn't all that long. Carved oud solves all those performance issues. I will always love oud wood, but if you want a version which not only lasts longer but also features a more prominent and natural smelling oud note, this may be the best option in existence. Definitely the best one I've tried. Well, since we've invoked the name of Tom Ford, there are so many great oud-based blends to choose from, including oud wood, but today I want to include a much more bold, daring, and intense release from him, and one featuring tobacco. Yep, you guessed it. Tobacco oud. What a work of art! This is what I'm talking about, Tom. This is the era of Tom Ford which made us all die-hard fans in the first place. Oud, tobacco, whiskey, cinnamon, incense. When you smell it, you just visualize so many colors in your mind, as if it's lighting up all your neurons like Clark Griswold's electric bill. Hope everyone had a nice Christmas, by the way. I'm sure you gave that movie a watch or 12. When I first smelled it, I didn't know what to think, but now I have grown to absolutely adore it. Unlike this next one. I'm still trying to figure it out. It's Mukhallat al-Shams by Ajmal. I'll admit it, I was pretty amazed by the bottle presentation, and that was a big selling point. When I smell it, I'm amazed by how incredibly complex and daring it is. The quality is way high, which was a shocker considering the reasonable price. Ajmal is pretty well known for making incredibly top shelf quality fragrances at insanely reasonable prices. I love the addition of ambergris, musk, and florals, but wow, talk about a challenging oud scent. Even for me, really pungent, but at the same time, really fascinating. I love to smell it, but I'm a little worried about wearing it because it's so strong and bold, and it takes a long time to settle. This is one I would suggest applying in the early afternoon if you're going to be by yourself for the next several hours. Then by the time you leave the house at night, it'll hit that sweet spot. Don't know if most will have the patience for that. I know I certainly don't. But if you really give it a chance, it may surprise you how nice it can be. And I'm more or less saying that to myself. On the mega wearable end, though, Chopard Oud Malaki is much more easy to grasp. Starts out with a bold oud, but does soften up nicely over the first half hour or so. I find it to be heavier on the cedar as it dries down, even though that's not a listed note. It just lists woods, so therefore I wouldn't be surprised if a cedar accord was involved. Gives you that sort of pencil shavings, woody feel, almost papyrus-like, even though that's also not a listed note. Could be the Artemisia combined with the woods. Leather is also listed, although I don't really get much of it. Same with ambergris. Upon first impression, it didn't really stand out as a new and original scent DNA compared to other ouds in my collection, but that's just me. To a newer fragrance lover wanting to dabble in oud, this would be a great choice to start, especially considering the modest price. Haramain's Oud 36, however, wow. This one really impressed me at first whiff. It's sweeter, has a lovely addition of rose, but doesn't smell like a typical rose oud. This one seems more on the ambery side, with a nice prominent labdanum and benzoin, so it's more resinous, more syrupy, and one I would also recommend as a perfect introductory oud scent, especially considering its insanely small price tag. This is one of those diamond in the rough cheapies. I can fully back that. How about we end this list with a perfect example of oud and jasmine. The aptly named Oud Jasmine by Royal Crown. Straight to the point. I like that in a title. This one also took me a while to like. When I first sampled it, I wasn't crazy about it, but I really love the note of jasmine. Whew, powerful. I mean, the Oud Rose combo has been a little played out, but an Oud Jasmine combo? This thing is something special. I love the whole note breakdown. Saffron, cardamom, clove, tuberose, ylang-ylang, ambergris, cedar, vetiver, musk, and Moroccan rose. Oh well, I guess when it comes to Oud, it's hard not to have a little rose in there. Royal Crown is a truly remarkable luxury niche brand. Much like all their stuff, you'll smell like royalty. And there you go, 10 Oud standing options for all you funky nostrils out there. If you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to join the party on your way out. And party you will over here. And show how much you like to party by giving us a like. Ring the bell to get notified for the next party. Share me with your pheromone challenge friends and family. Blast us out on your socials. Help us send out some party invites, will ya? And leave me a comment. Tell me about your favorite Oud scents, or just tell me anything. Doesn't matter. Everything goes. I just love nerding out on fragrance with you. And join me next time. Till then, stay bold, stay pungent, and of course, stay smelly. The doctor is Oud.